This final speaker this morning really does not even need an introduction. She's the founder of Live Action. That's right. She's the author of Fighting for Life, the host of the Lila Rose show, of which I am a huge fan. And she is a really cherished leader in the pro-life movement. It's an extreme honor of mine to introduce Lila Rose to the stage.
Hello. Woo! Can we just shout out Sammy Parker? Thank you, Sammy. All right, you guys, I am so excited this morning, and I want to start by filming a little video with you all for a gentleman that right now is in Washington, D.C., sitting in the White House, President Donald Trump. And we're going to tell President Donald Trump that, first, we love babies. Let me hear it. We love babies. Thank you. And then we're going to say, President Trump, defund Planned Parenthood. Got it? Okay. Let's do that again. Okay. We love babies. We love babies. And then, President Trump, defund Planned Parenthood. President Trump, defund Planned Parenthood. We're going to do this. Here we go. I am here, 1,500 young people in Southern California. Woo! All right. We love babies. We love babies. President Trump. Defund Planned Parenthood. Woo! All right. I'm texting this right now. JK, we're gonna send it to the appropriate channel soon. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm so excited to be with you all. I'm so thrilled to have 1,500 people here sold out. We doubled last year. We're going to do this again next year. We're going to keep doubling. We're going to keep growing. I have never been more hopeful, more excited, more confident about this movement for life and this movement for family, for love. And so I want to thank you all, first of all, for being part of this movement, because this is it. This is the future of this country. We are living in a crazy time right now. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. You guys are seeing it, hearing it. You heard from some amazing speakers today about that crazy time. But I believe we've never been closer. Yes, we're going to defund Planned Parenthood. That is happening. But we're also going to end abortion. We are going to end abortion. On my drive over here this morning, I was thinking about the last 15 years of Live Action. And I was remembering being in college, and I was remembering, Pro-Life Club, Live Action, hoping that 10 people would show up, hoping that 20 people would show up, and wondering, how do we get more people to care? And I was just so excited thinking about the fact that this movement is now millions and millions of people strong, all across this country, all ages. And I was reflecting on the one who makes this all possible, who is our Father in heaven, because this movement is not of our own strength or of our own vision. This movement is in service of God, right? In service of Jesus Christ. And I was thinking about one of the first times that I learned the truth, the profound truth that God's grace is enough, that God's grace gives us everything that we need for the calling that he entrusts us with. I was thinking back to those college days. I was thinking back to freshman year, being in my dorm room, and I had just done these investigative videos of Planned Parenthood. We had reported on them. They had started to go viral on the early days of YouTube. I was kind of, excited about that. People are knowing the truth about the biggest abortion chain. And I remember getting this email from Planned Parenthood. Again, they got my UCLA email account somehow. And I open up this email. I'm like, why am I on their spam? Why are they spamming me? Did someone sign me up as a joke? And I remember opening up this email, and it was this legal threat. And they were threatening to sue me. I think it was for $5,000 for each offense, they said, and pursue criminal penalties against me. And this was before Live Action had any kind of national organization. We had no lawyers, no nonprofit status. We had nothing. And I remember sitting in my dorm room and just thinking, okay, I literally have a student loan and maybe $50 in the bank. Like I'm one of those literal penniless college students at the time. And I remember thinking, okay, well, I'm definitely in over my head. I don't know what the next step looks like. But I had enough of the gift of faith to get on my knees and say, God, I trust you. I trust you. And it was within literally days that God, through his providence, because he always meets us wherever we are to give us what we need for the calling that he entrusts us with. Within just a few days, pro bono legal support, people coming out of the weeds to help me, out of the woodwork to help me. And within days, those videos that Planned Parenthood was trying to silence were aired on national TV across the country because the media picked up the story of this horrible abortion clinic threatening college students. And I realized that our trust in God, our willingness to even say, God, I don't have all the answers. I am one small finite person, but our trust in God opens up opportunities that we could not imagine to step into our calling. And so I want to tell you guys, our 3 words. I believe in these words so much they're up here. Clarity, conviction, and courage. Clarity. You just heard from some amazing speakers. There's more coming. We're going to have some awesome Q&As. But moral clarity is sorely lacking in our culture today. People are so confused. People's consciences are so warped, or they're just not formed yet. They don't know right from wrong. We're still questioning what a woman is. We've lost the plot. We've lost the plot. Our consciences are broken. And so having moral clarity is a gift from God. And that's the opportunity of today. That's the gift that you each have been given, is moral clarity to know right from wrong. The next is conviction. Conviction means that, yes, we see what is true, but now we're going to believe what is true. We're going to own what is true. It's not just something that's written in a book somewhere, but it's something that we are going to allow to change us. It's conviction. Let the truth conquer the mind. It comes from the Latin word to conquer. Let the truth conquer the mind. Let it conquer you. Let it be what guides you. So we want to not just know what is true, but we want to let that truth conquer us. And then the final word here is courage. Once we know what is true, once we believe and assent to the truth, what do we have to do next? We have to live by what is true. We have to live the truth in our personal lives, in how we relate to every other person, and certainly in how we serve God. That God is our Lord, God is our King, and we're here to serve him. We're here to step into what he is calling us to. And to do that, we need courage. We need the willingness to step out in courage. You're going to hear later from a few people that are incredible inspirations to me. One of them is, I'm going to let her share a story, of course, later, but she's a complete hero of mine. She spent months in prison for standing up for life. She has a little baby daughter. She was separated from her daughter. You're going to hear her story. It's going to give you chills. But there are people who, even if they feel their knees are trembling, even if they have their doubts, they are stepping out in courage today because they have the moral clarity and the conviction, and they're willing to stand up for what is right and follow God's call. So let today change us. You're here because you're called. You're here because you know in your heart, your conscience is telling you this matters, life matters, love matters. We need to stand up. We need to stand up for what is right. So let today be an inspiration for you. I want to share with you in the time that I have this morning the way that I see the 3 biggest lies that's afflicting us. So we were talking about conscience. You can't form your conscience if you don't know what is true, right? You need to know what is true. And our culture is incessantly lying. There are lies everywhere that we go, people living by lies. And they're not doing it necessarily intentionally or even maliciously. A lot of people don't even know that what they're doing fully is wrong. They don't have full knowledge that this is what I'm doing is wrong. But they have ultimately been formed in lies. And so what are these 3 biggest lies? And some of the signs, by the way, it's so crazy when you look out in the culture and you look at kind of what's happening right now. It's so crazy to see the impact of these lies. I want to actually share this really quick. You probably have heard these statistics, but do you know what the second leading cause of death for Generation Z is? Does anyone know? I hear some whispers, people are saying suicide. It's suicide. We are killing over 3,000 babies a day in the womb, and then Gen Z, the second leading cause of death is suicide. There is this crisis of connection, of purpose that is afflicting so many people today. You probably heard this study, you heard some amazing stuff from Dr. Morse, but 47% of households today, only 47% of households today, less than half of children today are being raised in a household with a married mother and a father. Think about that. A lot of people here today may be in that boat. They might have been in that boat. They weren't raised in a home where they had a mother and a father modeling a loving marriage that wanted to commit to each other for life and sacrifice for each other. They didn't grow up with that. Think about the impact of that. Pornography. Technology and the sexual revolution got together, and when we don't have good moral compasses and we don't have conviction, then technology can just run roughshod over us. And technology has accelerated the use and the addiction to pornography. And so today, in just the last week, roughly 45% of men are reporting that they have used pornography. Almost half of men share that they're using pornography in the last given week. And it's now 16% of women. It's not just a man's problem. These are now 16% of women. Over more than 1 out of every 10 women, almost 2 out of every 10, are also using pornography. So we see that it's a disaster out there. And then the worst consequence of the sexual revolution, of the lies of the culture, is abortion. Then you have over 1 million children killed every single year in this country by abortion. 1 million children. It's hard to even wrap your mind around that. The loss of one child is a total heartbreaking tragedy, is an injustice of the greatest proportions, the shedding of one little one's innocent blood, and it's 1 million a year. And that's why we're all here. That is why we're all here, because we understand that this is a moment culturally, this is a moment in history when more than ever people need the moral clarity, the conviction, and the courage. Because if we have that, if we live by that, we can change this. So the 3 biggest lies that I see that are fueling a lot of the pain, the isolation, that are fueling a lot of the chaos in the culture, I'm going to break it down to 3 core lies in my view. The first lie is a lie about masculinity. You heard this from Nick. He did a fantastic job. He gets it. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this lie because I think you guys get it too. But the lie is that masculinity is toxic. Masculinity, men don't have a role to lead. They don't have a role to protect. They don't have a role to, ultimately, as Jesus Christ says, the master of all must be the servant, to serve and to love. Men are being told that there's nothing special about being a man, and if there is, it's toxic to think that there is, ultimately. And so today, so many men are wondering, what do you feminists told me I don't matter, and I'm actually I'm not good that I exist, and so what do you want of me? What am I here for? And the truth about men, of course, as we know, is modeled in the ultimate man to have ever lived and walked this earth, who's also God, Jesus Christ. So if toxic masculinity is reneging, rejecting man's superpower to give, to provide, to lead, right? Real masculinity is embracing the superpower that men have to give, to provide, to lead. And Jesus Christ is the ultimate model of what that looks like. And I just want to read from Scripture because I just think this is, and this goes for ladies too in terms of the heart of what Christ is saying, but I think it's particularly powerful because he's saying it to his disciples. And he's saying this after James and John come to him, the brothers, and they were saying, Jesus, we want to be at your right hand. We want to be, the guys who are like have this authority over the others. We want to be the guys for you, the top brass for you. And Jesus called them to him. This is from Matthew 20. He said, you know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great men exercise authority over them. It shall not be so among you. Whoever would be great among you must first be your servant, and whoever would be first among you must be your slave, even as the Son of Man came not to be served, but serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. There's the ultimate model, the ultimate man's man, our Lord Jesus Christ, who came to serve, to give his life for many. Our culture desperately needs men of strength who understand that their masculinity, their power is designed to be used in service of God and others. All right, ladies, let's talk about us for a minute. This is an area that I think our culture gets so crazily wrong. So the narrative today around femininity is that femininity, womanhood, our superpower as women, which is what? What makes a woman different from a man? Life, creating life. You can get pregnant. We have the ability to mother, to nurture. And that is a superpower. That is a blessing. That is a gift that we have been given uniquely. It is a superpower. And so the culture says, and literally they call themselves advocates of women, those that empower women. The culture says, actually, your superpower is a burden and a curse. And you need the right to kill a baby so that you can get yourself away from that curse and be equal to men, because men can't get pregnant, so you need the power to unpregnate yourself at any point, and if you have to kill a baby to do it, no problem. That's the cultural message, complete inverse of the truth. It's the complete opposite of the truth. The truth being that our superpower as women is the ability to nurture, to carry life into the world. And you might be sitting here thinking, well, maybe I won't be able to get pregnant, or maybe I'm not called to marriage, or maybe I don't want to get married, maybe I want to be called to the religious life, or maybe I'm not sure how I feel about all of this. I believe strongly that the ultimate maturity of any woman, and this is true for men for fatherhood, but the ultimate maturity of any woman is their ability to mother, if not biologically, because some women are not called to that, that's not God's plan for them, if not biologically, then spiritually. All women are called to motherhood, biological or spiritual. And what that looks like is our ability to grow and mature so that we are not the ones always receiving the mentorship, the nourishment, the nurture, the guiding, but we are the ones who are able to give it back to the next generation of women, to women that are younger than us, to little ones that need that formation and that support. It's the perpetually immature woman, it's the toxic feminine that sees her life as about herself and her feelings and her subjective view of things and her own maybe very base even desires, comfort, pleasure, feeling good about myself. Now, God is our Father. He's our Father in heaven. He wants us to feel and know our worth as women. He wants us to know that we are his daughters, that he created us to be beautiful, to be good. That's how we were designed. But if the culture is always telling us, like, it's about you and what you want a career, go for that. You want to get older and just, be able to go to brunch and not be bothered with a baby or bothered with getting married, you go for that. If it's all about me, we're never going to reach the full potential of how we were designed, which is to be that ultimate mother, biologically or spiritually, to give back to others, to love others, to serve others. You guys might have seen this, but there was at the Golden Globes recently, there was an actor named Michelle Williams. This seems to happen again and again at these awards shows, by the way. It's like an awards show can't happen without somebody coming up there and thanking abortion. It's insane. It's horrific. But this actor gets up and she's holding her trophy, this golden trophy, because she just won a Golden Globe. And she's saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And she says, I wouldn't be here, and I need to thank ultimately, I wouldn't be here without a woman's right to choose. She's standing there holding a trophy, a golden trophy, a piece of dirt, basically. It's nothing. It's just this little, maybe it's gold gilded. It's definitely not solid gold, that thing. But it's like a toy. It's like a toy. It's probably from, ordered in from China. No aspersions to China, but it's like a thing that's going to turn into dust one day, right? And she's holding this like it's her baby. And she's literally thanking the execution of the real baby she had 15 years, 2 decades ago, as the reason, the execution of that baby was the reason that now she's holding this this toy. And the reality is there have been many women on many awards shows or stages that have won awards that have children. So that this idea that you can't have a child and do really great, excellent professional work is a complete lie. But separate from that, that's not the point. The point is, where's her treasure? Her treasure is in something that will turn to dust, as we will all turn to dust, which is ultimately hell. That is not a path to any kind of joy or happiness. It's a path to hell. And so contrast that, and I think this is this picture, this like modern parable of the toxic feminine right there, holding a toy, thanking your abortion for your toy, thanking the killing of your baby for your toy. And you contrast that with another woman who I love very much, and many of us know about her, Mary, the mother of Jesus. Shout out to Mary. Jesus is the ultimate man and God, of course. Mary was the ultimate woman. Mary is the ultimate woman. But I want to read Holy Scripture here. Like our Lord said, the first shall be last. I came here to serve. I came here to lay down my life. What did Mary do? The angel comes to Mary. Mary, a lot of the theologians and the early church fathers say she was praying. When the angel came, she was doing her daily prayer. She was a woman that was after God's heart. She wanted to love and serve God. She was someone of great faith. And the angel comes to her and says, "Behold, full of grace." So he acknowledges her before all of humanity, that will read these words later on in human history, that she is full of God's grace. And he says to her, "Do not be afraid." He tells her that she can bear the Son of God, Jesus Christ. And what does she say? She queries him. She says, "How can this be?" She's there to serve God. She's there in prayer. But she also knows she's just one woman. She's not God. She knows she's one woman, and her humility is so strong. She's like, "How can this be? I'm just this one woman. I'm not even, I'm betrothed to Joseph at this time, but I'm a virgin. How is this going to happen?" And the Holy Spirit says that he will overshadow her. She will conceive a son. And then the words that she gives, and these are I would say it's like the ultimate expression of the feminine, a feminine power that is uniquely feminine. She says, "Be it done unto me according to thy word." Be it done unto me according to thy word. There's this theological teaching called active receptivity. This idea that a woman, yes, we are strong, yes, we can, stand up for what's right, we have these virtues, but that in receiving, our ability to receive is our superpower. And when we receive, that's our ability. We receive the other subjectively. We're nurturing an individual, a child. We see them, we understand them, we receive them, we can love them. That's a superpower that we have to see the individual. And of course, the power to receive a new life and to nurture that new life. And that's what Mary did. She said, "Yes, be it done unto me according to thy word." And she received the most greatest gift that humankind has ever seen, Jesus Christ. She received him to be his mother. And so a few of these qualities, so there's the toxic masculine, there's the toxic feminine, but the few of these qualities of the true feminine, I would say the ultimate woman, is that she is ultimately a mother. Again, doesn't need to be biological. Some of the most beautiful mothers I know are not biological mothers, but their whole life, they've developed their maturity is about serving and nurturing and helping others reach their full potential. She is not constantly worrying about herself, her own concerns, but she concerns herself with others and love of others. She cares for herself because she's a daughter of God, but she cares for herself so she can be then a gift to others. And she's actively listening to God's call. I think women in this room today, God has a calling for each one of you. I don't know exactly what it is. But when we are willing to actively listen to the call of our Father, he will show us. He will guide us to be that woman, to reach that full maturity so that we can step into that calling and serve him and serve others. And so the first lie, masculinity is toxic. The second lie, femininity is some sort of a curse or a burden, that unique superpower of women. This last lie, which is one of the biggest reasons we're here today, the top reason we're here, is that some people matter more than others. That some people's lives don't matter. If you are small, if you're weak, if you're dependent, then you don't matter. That's the baby. The baby has zero legal status in this country before birth. No legal status. You can do whatever you want. If you're an IVF clinic, you can create a bunch of these little babies and freeze them or kill them. If you're a scientist, you can actually create these babies and you can grow them and manipulate them and destroy them for your science experiments. If you're a mother in the state of California, you're pregnant, you can decide to kill that baby first trimester, or you can wait until the third trimester and then you can kill the baby. There is no law protecting babies in the state whatsoever. And you think about that and the sheer carnage that has wrecked across this country, and it should break your heart. We should be heartbroken over this, guys. We should let it choke us up that this is the state of affairs. And then that moral clarity that we have should drive us to a firm conviction, an invincible conviction that helps give us the courage to fight back and to be an advocate for these children's lives, to fight for those lives. The lie, of course, is my body, my choice, right? It's my body, my choice. No, it's not your body, it's someone else's body. They say, my bodily autonomy. No, what about the autonomy of this baby? Science is clear. This is a unique individual human life from the moment of fertilization. This is not some blob. This is not some thing that's another appendage that belongs to you or an organ that belongs to you. This is a distinct individual human life. They have rights too. They have that first right, which is life. What about their choice? It's not just my body, my choice. There's another body, and they deserve the right to live and to thrive. And realize that the reason the lies of the sexual revolution have been so powerful on this point is because they've erased what it really means to be a woman, right? They say to men and women, you have to be exactly the same in terms of how you operate in the world. So because men can't get pregnant, then women shouldn't have to get pregnant. That's the foundational principle of the bodily autonomy, my body, my choice argument. They basically want women to be like men. It's like, no, women are not men. And that's a good thing. We need men and we need women. And the superpower that women have to bring life into the world, yes, it comes with a responsibility. Every right that we have comes with a responsibility. And if you are pregnant, even if you didn't plan to get pregnant, they say, well, it wasn't planned. Doesn't matter. Once you have a child, once there is a child, that child now deserves love and protection. And now there is a responsibility, not just from that woman to nourish that baby, but from the man who is the father of that baby to protect that baby. And so the ultimate, I believe, undoing of this lie that some people matter more than others, of course, it's the truth of the baby in the womb, the life in the womb, the scientific reality, but I think the foundational way to solve and combat that lie is to start a movement, and we've already started this culturally, to put sex back in marriage. Sex belongs in marriage. I mean, think about it. If starting tomorrow, people only had sex within marriage, and by marriage I mean two people, a man and a woman, who come together and fully commit to love each other for life exclusively and be open to any children that they might conceive, if that's how our society was set up, we would eradicate abortion overnight. Think about that. And as you guys know, we have a speed dating event tonight. Are you guys excited for that? I think it's sold out. There's 200 people registered. I expect that next year or the year after, there will be some success stories coming from this event. And I expect an invitation to the wedding, okay? That's okay, you don't have to do that, but I'm excited to hear how that goes. Okay, so the path forward. What is the path forward, guys? The path forward is men lead, men protect, women nurture, women embrace your femininity. And then it's win. We're gonna win. Total legal protection for the preborn child. We're gonna change the shape of this country. We're gonna change California. Changing hearts and minds is a key part of that. To protect life, to end abortion. I want to tell you about something that I really hope some of you all join me for next fall. This is something that I wish that I had had when I was first starting pro-life work, and I didn't have it. Nothing like this existed, but it's something that Live Action is launching, and it's called the North Star Fellowship. The North Star of the pro-life movement is total legal protection of the baby, right? It's complete legal protection of that child. Give them back their rights. Well, the North Star Fellowship is about, yes, accomplishing that end, but it's also about formation on marriage, on sex, on bioethics. And it's going to be this incredible time of deep diving. So there's only going to be 40 or 50 people next fall that will be chosen. So you are selected to apply. You can apply. And you join this program, which will be based out of here in beautiful Southern California. And you will get to work closely with and be mentored by experts in the field of media training, of bioethics, and of communication and activism so that you can be the best ambassador you can for this cause. And what's very cool about this is it's designed for people who are already interested in media, maybe content creation via social media, maybe writing, maybe they want to get involved in communications work on Capitol Hill one day. So people that are already interested in media, it could be entertainment media, people who are interested in faith, so leading, being leaders in faith. Maybe they want to work in their church in the future, they want to be a pastor, they want to be a priest, they want to be involved in the nonprofit space, serving people's spiritual needs, or they're involved in public policy. They want to get involved in politics, public policy, help shape our nation's laws and how we work and live together. And so if you're interested in one of those three spaces and you want special deep dive training, you're going to hear more about this later today, but I hope you would consider joining us for the North Star Fellowship. I'm extremely excited. This is where leaders are made. I want to share one more story with you guys to close out here. I sometimes feel, and I don't know if you guys feel this, doing this work, it can sometimes seem that there's just some people that just it's like they're just locked in on the lies of the culture. They're just spewing the same lies over and over again. They're living by them. They don't hear. The moral clarity piece is not there. And maybe you know somebody personally like this and you just love them, you want to help them, or maybe you're just running into this at college or in your place of work, and it's like, how do we change this heart? How do we change this mind? Earlier this year, I was in DC and I was at Georgetown University and I was doing this debate against this woman who was this law professor. She was from Harvard, she was a Rhodes Scholar, she had all these degrees, she has all this credibility, or expertise, I should say, and she's here to debate abortion, right? She's supporting abortion. And so I, did the best I could, debated her. We had this, 2-hour debate. There were all these Georgetown students there, some of them pro-life and some of them in support of abortion. And I remember afterwards I left and I was like, okay, her arguments were horrible, by the way. Even a Harvard lawyer can't argue for abortion very well because killing a baby, there ultimately is no moral justification for killing a baby. So it wasn't that she argued so well, it was more that did I do a good enough job, did I do a decent enough job to reach those pro-choice students, these students who support abortion, because you don't know what is motivating them, what's in the back of their mind, their objections. And so I was thinking, did it make a dent? The pro-life students, they were already pro-life, the pro-choice students, did it make a dent? And I remember talking to a friend about it and to be like, I don't know, hopefully something moved, but I just don't know. And I got a text from one of the organizers, and they told me, just wanted to share, one of the students came up to me afterwards who was pro-choice, came to the event, they were pro-choice, and she shared that she had changed her mind. And listen, I've been doing this now for 20 years, since I was a teenager. This is something I've been doing forever. I, of all people, should be like, okay, it is what it is. I'm just going to dust off my feet and keep moving forward and not get into these self-doubt spirals about, is it actually making the impact? But the reality is, I realized in that moment that at the end of the day, again and again, we have to remember this every single day, right? This is God's fight. This is God's battle. Our job is to show up. Our job is to show up. We have the moral clarity. We have the conviction. Our job is to have even just a little bit of courage and to show up. Have the conversation. Show up to the debate, even if you're not going to do the best job you thought you could or you wanted to do. Still show up. Have the conversation. Still show up. if you're going to go debate on college campuses, please do. Join the North Star Fellowship. We'll train you, and we'll go have you debate on campuses. Do that. We need more of that. But show up. Show up. And the last thing I'm going to say to you is the first place to show up, and this is what I just want to encourage you guys, each one of, and every one of you. You're called, you're here. The first place to show up is on your knees before God. Because we cannot be the men and the women that we have been created to be. We cannot be advocates for the least, for the most defenseless, for the least of these, if we are not showing up to God as his children, as his sons and daughters, saying, God, here I am. I trust in you, and your will be done. Thank you guys so much.